I love you guys so much that I'm gonna make fun of you for your own good.
You're welcome.
Like strippers, every state is unique. You got big states, you got small states, you got different color states, and you got states that just want to throw some hands. So I'm going to associate a card for every state that accurately represents that state. And I'll be using top tier scientific methodologies to show you guys how I got to this answer. I'll walk you guys through it. So put your feelings aside and tie in your belt because you're about to get fucked. Starting off this list with California. Oh, California, how I love you. It's a state known for traffic, homelessness, and a high cost of living. It's a state where people are trying to get famous by any means necessary, and she's a pretty state. But in the end, California is a state that's just been worn down way too much by the people. 10 years ago would have been a good idea living here. Now, people are moving out of the state. So because California is really expensive, they think they're the shit, they're pretty, but they were cool 10 years ago. I'd say the state is a 10-year-old Range Rover. A Range Rover that's been collecting dust for over 6 months because it hasn't started since then. Y'all, we got Texas. Texas is known for barbecues, live music, hot women, temperatures, and of course their trucks. Chevy actually makes a Silverado called the Texas Edition, so by default, Texas is gonna get a Silverado as their car, but that kind of ruins the fun out of it, so I got one thing to say to you, Texas. Come here. Get closer. Alaska is bigger than Texas. Son of a bitch! So Texas is going to be the Silverado, but no, not the Texas edition. It's going to be a beat up V6 base model Silverado with the stupid tow mirrors, even though you can't tow anything with it. And of course, don't forget the muffler delete. Don't laugh, California, at least their truck runs. Number 3, we got Florida. Florida is known for their great weather and beautiful beaches. And needless to say, they're also known for being crazy. Like, do you guys remember that whole bath salt incident that happened 10 years ago? Or how about the time that a fake cop pulled over a real cop? Or what about the time that a dog shot his owner with a pistol? Alright, last one I promise. How about the time that someone threw a freaking alligator through a drive-through window? So when you think of crazy cars, a few cars come to mind, like the Dodge Ram or the Dodge Charger, but there's one car that stands out more than others, and that would be the cracked out 20-year-old Nissan Altima doing 120 down the freeway during rush hour. And of course they're playing this song the entire time. Number 4, we have New York. New York is a place known for the skyscrapers, Times Square, their pizza, and even cash cab.
Hi! Where you going? In the cash cab. No!
Not gonna lie, I'm kind of jealous of that guy's job.
Do you want to play? Yeah!
So New York is known for the yellow cabs. And the cabs are known for, I guess, almost running over people.
Hey! I'm walking here! I'm walking here! Hey, I'm walking here! Hey! I'm walking here!
Alright, so if New York was a car, it definitely would be a yellow car, but not a taxi because that's just too easy. And if it were up to me, it'd be the banana car. But I guess it's not like a real car, you know, because it's just not a real car. So it's gonna be the MV1, this abomination of a car. New York gets this ugly ass car because it's a New Yorker on New Yorker crime because you guys are almost running over your own people. And this car has a 0 to 60 of pretty much 10 seconds, which means you're not going anywhere fast, which means you can stop in time to not hit your own people. But you know what?
Forget about it.
Number 5, we have Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, home of Hershey's and opioid addictions. It's a place where your tooth fillings fall out because of the potholes, but yet it's a really safe state. So which car is a safe choice, rides rough, and you'd have to be on opioids to buy it? That'll be the old Toyota Corolla wagon. You have Toyota reliability and all the room you need for your opioid trip. Plus it's a cheap car, so more money for Number 6, we have Illinois, home of the bean, and besides the bowls, that's pretty much it. More Illinois residents claim their state to be the worst than any other state, which is probably why a lot of people moved out of the state in 2020. And besides that, the state's pretty average across the board. So which car is pretty average across the board, and most owners just hate being reminded that that's the car they're driving around in? To me, that's an obvious one. That's the Dodge Dart. But don't listen to me, listen to Scotty Kilmer.
If you bought one of these, they're rolling piles of junk.
I'd rather walk than be caught driving one of these. So you know what, Illinois? I'm gonna give you one with a big wing on it. Number 7, we got Ohio. Ohio was the bee's knees around 60 years ago, but nowadays it's just kind of a dead dream. Not many people have good paying jobs here, and quite frankly, any economic opportunities are pretty much not present. Hence why land is cheap out here. This kind of took a sad turn, so I'll stop talking about the state. So what kind of car was cool 60 years ago, is cheap, and gets you a lot of real estate? A van, bro! You can't be sad when you're driving a van, bro. But for the sake of this video, Ohio is getting the Dumb and Dumber van. This will surely put a smile on the Ohio resident's face. Like, imagine all the activities you can do in this van. Don't get any ideas, Pennsylvania. Number 8, we have Georgia. Besides being known as a peach state, there's not much going on in Georgia. I mean, Hulk Hogan is from there, but that's pretty much it. So what kind of car is a nice peach? You might be thinking, oh, it's a Mark IV Supra, or oh, it's a Bugatti Veyron. Excuse me, son, no one's winning in this video. The car with the best peach of all time goes to the Ford Pinto. The peach is so good in this car, it will literally kill you if someone rear ends you. Just make sure you're the one that's doing the rear ending. Number 9, we have North Carolina. The only thing we should be thankful for coming out of North Carolina is Krispy Kreme. I don't know about you, but to me, there ain't no better chain donut than Krispy Kreme. Like, I'm not talking about the ones that they sell us later, but I'm talking about the ones that are actually made inside a Krispy Kreme store. Like, dude, I could just watch them gracefully roll down that conveyor belt all day long. Just watching them come out fresh from the nice hot fryer, and then just being showered by that beautiful waterfall of glazing. And then they give it the perfect amount of time for that glazing to just slightly harden. Oof. Speaking of glazing, North Carolina's gonna get a car that's notorious for peeling paint, glazing. And that honor goes to the Volkswagen Golf. Funny enough, I see these cars with a donut all the time. Number 10, we have Michigan. Ah yes, the enemy of Ohio. It's a state full of people who are hunters to the core and will probably hit a few deers in their lifetime. But of course, Michigan is known for Detroit, home of Ford and GM. So this puts Michigan in a position where they're going to get an American car, and since they're hunters, they're gonna get a truck, but Texas already has a Silverado, so you think that Michigan will get an F-150, but no, you're not getting an F-150. You're gonna get this sorry excuse for an F-150, the Ford Explorer Sport Track. But not just any model, you're gonna get this one right here with the Lambo doors and dually setup. Only thing is missing is the tow mirrors. Number 11, we have New Jersey. New Jersey would look a whole lot cooler if it wasn't next to New York. It's a place where wages are high and crime rates are low. And besides Snooki, you guys are also known for having some crazy road rage.
A driver caught on camera. If you didn't know any better, you'd think you were watching a movie here. The person recording this video tells the Daily Mail that the Honda Accord tried the merge there. Oh, look at that. The highway's left lane blocked by the Ford Rap.
So which car is less cooler than an MB1 but slightly more bougie? That would be the Lincoln Town Car. It's a slightly more normal looking car, but to me it just screams old fart. Like, why couldn't you just buy a Crown Victoria? But lucky for New Jersey, that car's pretty much bulletproof, so you can unleash your inner demon and wreak havoc on the streets. Number 12, we have Virginia. Ah yes, a state where you can travel back in time and find people who still think the Civil War is going on. They know all the words to Enter Sandman, and don't you dare confuse them with their neighbor West Virginia. But the Pentagon is located in Virginia, so I guess by default they're gonna get a Chrysler car. Get it? Chrysler went bankrupt in 2009 and Virginia stuck in the past, huh? Get it? Get it? So because Virginia doesn't want to let go of the past, the car is going to be the PT Cruiser. And no modifications for this car, just a bone stock PT Cruiser for Virginia. If you ask me, I'd rather take the Range Rover that doesn't start. Number 13, Washington. Ah, the birthplace of Starbucks. They love their salmon and they're very liberal. The weather's always rainy and gloomy there, which definitely doesn't make it the happiest place in the world. That or you gotta be a workaholic in order to afford living there. But hey, at least the scenery's pretty cool. So the car that comes to mind when I think of Washington is a 240. No, not that 240, the Volvo 240. You'll definitely be looking good driving this bad boy with the beanie on your head and your coffee in your cup holder. And similar to the Washington residents, this car would just never stop working. And quite frankly, it's all you could afford. Number 14, Arizona. Known for hot weather, allergies, cookie cutter homes, and of course the freaking Grand Canyon, man. Now you know what, we could actually just stop right here. So what car comes to mind when I think of Grand Canyon?
Alright, time to stick a tube of toothpaste in a Maserati panel gap. Alright, here we go.
This Maserati Ghibli. That panel gap is so big, it's sponsored by Gap. That gap is so big, it got different zip codes. That panel gap is so big, you can play hide and seek in it. That panel gap is so big, you don't even need a trunk anymore to hold your shit. Alright, last one. That panel gap is so big, you could open the door from the outside. Alright, that's enough. Arizona has a Maserati as a car. Speaking of Maserati, one of my favorite Young Thug lyrics is about a Maserati. This is how it goes.
And the front of the Maserati look like a fork, don't it?
Number 15, we have Tennessee. Ah yes, the birthplace of country music and Mountain Dew. And of course,
Tennessee whiskey.
whenever I hear Tennessee whiskey, I think of Jack Daniels. And similar to Virginia, they're very conservative, which means they're gonna get an old car, and that car is gonna be this old 1947 GMC pickup Jack Daniels edition. However, Tennessee's car is gonna be beached on a ramp in front of a Cracker Barrel. Number 16, Massachusetts. Ah yes, the Boston Tea Party. Remember that from history, boys and girls? This state is the home of Harvard as well as the Boston accent. They are known for having some of the best schools as well as some of the highest paying jobs in the country. If you ask me, that's pretty vanilla. Speaking of vanilla, because of the state's history with Britain, the car has to be a British car. The car has to be unique, something well known, and something with history. What car could that be? Something none other than the Robin Reliant. It has a very unique three-wheel design, featured in Mr. Bean, and well known by the people at Top Gear.
There we go. Reliant Robin.
Number 17, Indiana. Ah yes, where Hoosier tires are made. The state is known for being flattered in your behind and as well as being, well, kind of boring. And also full of pollution. So what kind of car is boring and also has a flat behind like you? That would be none other than a Chevy Astro. You can't get more boring than that and definitely can't get flatter than that. But because Indiana makes my all-time favorite tires, I'm gonna make an Astro with Hoosier tires on it.
You're welcome.
Number 18, Missouri. Home to St. Louis, which is the murder capital of the US. But besides that, the state's pretty cool. By the way, whenever I hear Missouri, I always think of this scene from the Fairly Odd Parents.
And I ain't never going back in there. It's Missouri in there. You ever been to Missouri?
So it's a state no one wants to go to, and it's also the murder capital of the US, which means Missouri's car is going to be a car that no one wants, and it's also going to be murder out. You'd probably think, oh, it's going to be the Yugo or the Geo Metro, but honestly, I kind of like those cars. So what car could you possibly not want more than those two cars I just mentioned? That's the Chevy Aveo. But of course, murdered out. This is honestly the most murdered out picture you could find of a Chevy Aveo, which kind of shows that no one wants this car. Number 19, Maryland. Maryland has the highest wages in the nation, more so than Massachusetts. And they're also obsessed with crabs, everything from steamed crabs to crab cakes. But besides that, that's pretty much all the state has going for it. Let's think about this one. Mr. Krabs drove a boat, and you can't drive a boat in the street. I mean, I guess you can, but you can't. And the car that's often referred to as a boat is a Dodge Charger. But I think Maryland's a little bit too vanilla for that, because apparently they have high wages. So I guess it's gonna be a Rolls Royce. But no one's gonna win in this video, so it's gonna be the Chrysler 300 for them. And even then, it's still kind of a cool car. So it's gonna be the Dodge Magnum instead. But not just any Dodge Magnum, the Dodge Magnum Donk. And if you actually like these kind of cars, you probably close a fridge with your hips. Number 20 is Wisconsin. Ah yes, the cheese state. It's the state that eats the most amount of ice cream than any other state in the US. And it's a place where you gotta prepare for storms and tornadoes, and also have some bug spray handy for mosquitoes and ticks. So it sounds like a state where you really gotta prep. Not only in bug spray, but ice cream too? To me, I think I have the perfect car for this. It's gonna be the Pontiac Aztek for one reason and one reason only. It has a 10 in the back.
Here it is, all set up, including the awning. When you want to climb inside, you simply unzip this whole thing, and you get back here to find the Aztec air mattress.
This is doomsday ready, and you can sleep with your ice cream in the back. Number 21, Colorado. Ah yes, the Rocky Mountains. It's the state where Dumb and Dumber traveled to see the first love of my life. And just like Lauren Holly, this state takes your breath away because of the high altitudes. And also fun fact, Crocs were invented in Colorado. But do you know what's more uncomfortable than wearing Crocs without socks? Seeing off-road vehicles lowered. So what car is pretty like Lauren Holly but also practical like Crocs? The Toyota FJ Cruiser. And only because of Lauren Holly, Colorado's getting this car. But the catch is the FJ Cruiser's lowered. Lauren, if you're seeing this, hit me up. Number 22, Minnesota. Minnesota's cold as hell, but similar to Wisconsin, you gotta keep a can of bug spray with you during the summer months. This state is known for being not very welcoming to outsiders, and outsiders are pretty easy to spot because they don't have an accent.
So cold enough for you? Accent? I don't have no accent.
So what kind of car has a signature accent, but you also gotta carry a can of bug spray with you at all times? If you were listening carefully, I already said it, it's the Volkswagen Bug. These cars do not come with insulation from factory, so winters are fun, and they got a signature accent. If you ask me, it sounds better than the Subaru. And don't get me started on these look at me attention-seeking trombone playing motherfucker. Number 23 is South Carolina. Ah, the smell of barbecue and lizards. South Carolina invented barbecuing, and it's also home to the legend of the Lizard Man. South Carolina is a state where the first rounds of the Civil War were shot, so I'm sure Virginia commends the efforts of South Carolina. They're pretty much family. Family, 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 family. So South Carolina was the first to do a lot of things, from shooting the first round to barbecuing to lizard people. So if South Carolina was a car, what would it be? It would be the Volkswagen Beetle. Why? Because it's the most circular car ever produced. Like, it's literally a semicircle on wheels. Oh, and fun fact, this car inspired both the Mini Cooper and the Fiat 500. That sounds a lot like South Carolina to me. Number 24, Alabama. Ah yes, it's the state where you either roll tide or you get jumped. They're known for the statue with the great set of cheeks, and they're also known for the theme song playing whenever something suspicious occurs between two family members. Speaking of two family members, what kind of car sounded like a good idea while I was baking in the oven, but ended up looking a little bit different when it came out? Some examples are the Toyota Supra and the Subaru WRX. But which car is Alabama's? That would be the Chevy Volt. This bad boy looks straight up like a bulldog when it was still a concept. This car was ready to save the planet and kick your ass too. But instead we got this weird looking Prius looking rip-off thing, man. Needless to say, this car's not going to go down as the best car in history, so maybe they should have had someone outside of their circle help them build a car. Number 25, Louisiana. I already know this was gonna hurt because I love me some Popeye's chicken. Louisiana is a place known for Mardi Gras and jazz music. They are also known for having some of the most extreme weather in the country and also some of the worst pollution as well. But because of Popeyes and only because of Popeyes, they have a very special place in my heart. But I did kind of already say a word that already made up my mind of what kind of car Louisiana is gonna get, and that's pollution. And what sounds like pollution? Volkswagen. Remember that whole diesel emission scandal that Volkswagen did a few years back? Well, the Volkswagen Jetta was a part of that, and unfortunately, that's gonna be Louisiana's car. Hey, California, don't be laughing, at least their car still runs. Alright guys, I'm tired of talking. This is gonna be part 1 of a 2-part series. If your state wasn't mentioned in this video, then I'll definitely mention it in the next one. And eventually I want to do one for all the countries in the world. And let me know what you guys thought about the video. If this video made you smirk just a little bit, then please like the video, it means the world to me. And if you want, subscribe for the next videos. And remember guys, life is short, so burn those tires. Peace.